Welcome back to the design studio. I've been busy looking for new designs for you because, well, that's what I do. Because I don't like to replicate the same wreaths over and over. And I had thought that I had shared this to the public group, but then I went back and looked and researched, and sure enough, it was a private group only video about a year ago. So I'm going to share this design technique with you. I think you'll like it because if you struggle with bows, if you struggle with mesh, and you just want something super simplified, but still turns out to be a very stunning product, either for your front door or for your home, I think you're going to like this. So before we get started, if you are new here, I'd like to welcome you. Let me know where you are from. I'm here in the Pacific Northwest up in Washington. So if I have any fellow Washingtonians, I'd love to say hi. We just moved here a little over a year ago, literally September 10th of 2022. We moved up here and have been enjoying the weather. I am a rain girl at heart, so this type of weather and this environment is something I have been longing for. So, also, I'd love to have you like and follow my page. If you can take a moment and do that, that would really help me out. Plus, it has a benefit for you that when I go live, you are notified, as long as you happen to be on your device, that, hey, we're going live, which is every Tuesday at 4 Pacific and every Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific. We do a late night, not really late night. We do an evening and then we do a early afternoon to try to incorporate everybody so you can all see the things. Also, YouTubers, a little bit different from you. All I need you to do is hit the subscribe button. I'd love to have you join about 48,000 people that are already joining me on YouTube. I'd love to have you join as well. Let's see what else. So hitting the subscribe button lets you know whenever we upload a new video. So if you want to take part in the live, while we're still going live only on Facebook at this time, hop on over to Cats Creations Wreaths. That's my Facebook page name, and I'd love to have you guys there. Also, if you want this design and you need to not know, like you don't want to lose the tutorial, super simple, click the share button down below. That's what I did when I was a first-time wreath maker, and that helps keep all of your stuff where it's easy for you to find when you're ready to put this together. So I'm going to go ahead and pivot you down, give you an overhead view. So we're going to drop you down. We want to make sure that you can see everything pretty much as though we were working in the studio together and you are directly across from me. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started as soon as I can get my comments up here. Let me see. Alrighty. So I'm going to go ahead and put my website up. This wreath is available for sale before we've even created it. So if you find that you're in love with this and want to be the first one and only one to have it, then you're going to want to do that. Hi, Belinda. Nice to see you. Welcome. She says, first time catching you live. So that is always a bonus. All right. Chris says, nice to see someone else's work out of my scarecrow design. Oh, nice. So, yeah, I got this from watching Kathy Dyer Reese. So, we broke it down and taught it to the private group yesterday. So today we are doing something totally different. We are going to be using the large, unique in the creek flower board. So the sticker on the box says 15.5 inches. And as you can see, if we line this up, that's exactly where it's at. It is the large board. You can find these, from what I've been told, at Hobby Lobby. Now they're starting to carry them. You can find them on Craft Outlet. You can find them on Amazon. I like to always keep a small stock, small surplus, because I'm always trying to find new ways to use these. So I will talk about the layout here in a second. I know it's kind of confusing. So on the large Unique and Creek board, you have 2 holes at the top, which is for your hanger. And then you have these outside holes, and they call this row 1. We are not going to be using any of the holes on row 1. We are just going to be using it to put our hanger on, and I'm going to use a braided cord. This is from Hobby Lobby. You can find this in their seasonal department right now. We're going to just go. I'm always trying to remember how to do this to get it to go up and down. I think I start from here and then pop back up if I want them to stay on the inside, because I always want my knot on the inside. So just like this, we'll have a nice cute little hanger. I'm going to go ahead and tie this in a nice knot, trying to knot it before all the braided pieces come undone. So just like that, right over left, left over right, makes that square knot. Remember that from Girl Scouts. And then when you pull it through, the knot stays on the inside so that we have a smooth hanger for the outside. Okay, so that takes care of the hanger part. Now for the zip tie layouts. So on the Unique in the Creek board, let me grab one that isn't already pre-loaded. And let me grab one of these ones so you can kind of see the hole placement. So this one's loaded, this one's not. Our holes right here at the top. So what I have done is you have close holes and wide holes. So this is row 2. Obviously, the closer you get to the outside, that's where your rows begin. So number 1 is where you're putting the hanger. That's it. Row number 2, you are going to use a zip tie and put a zip tie in every single one of the skinny holes. I call these ones skinnies. And then we're going to do a shared hole, and then we're also going to put a zip tie in between these. So you're going to have, I think it's 16 skinny hole zip ties and then 16 wide hole zip ties on row 2. So you're going to do all the skinnies and then go back and do all the wide. Then on row number 3, we're just using the skinnies together. So you'll see there's a skinny and then a single and a skinny and a single. You'll need 8 zip ties for this. And then also on the bottom, we're back to what we did on row 2. We're doing skinnies and we're doing wide. So you're going to need 8 of the skinny and 8 of the wide. And the 4 in the center, we're not going to be using. That's where we're going to be placing our sign. Okay, now with that laid out, what we're using is strictly ribbon. We're just going to use 2.5-inch ribbon. So I am using this foil. It's kind of like a foil. It's not a glitter. It's just foil on top of a burnt orange. And this is from Crinkle. This is 2.5 inches. And then we're going to be doing a 2.5-inch with the pumpkin print. Also from Crinkle Designs. Trying to think in my head. I'll give you the total count when I finish. But these are going to be cut to 12-inch pieces. Now I know on here for row number 2, we're going to need 8 12-inch pieces of the 2.5-inch. We're going to need 8 pieces of this 2.5-inch ribbon cut to 12-inch pieces. Then we're going to take it and also include some 1.5 inch in a fall plaid. This is from Hobby Lobby. And then I'm going to pair that with a sage green with the raised white stitching. This is from Crinkle Designs as well. I like getting my 50-yard spools in my favorite prints. So again, all the ribbon cut to 12-inch pieces. So for row number 2, the very first row we're going to lay in, you're going to need 8 of each color. Okay? So once you have 8 of each color, it's cut down to 12-inch pieces. It's going to look like this. You have your option. You can use the skinny little rubber bands from Dollar Tree, or you can use zip ties. Okay? Take those. We're going to make the ends meet. We are going to scrunch about 1 inch from the bottom. And then, like I said, if you want to use skinny little Dollar Tree ribbons, you can use those, or you can use zip ties. It doesn't matter. You just want to go ahead and secure those holes together. I prefer zip ties because as I'm fluffing, sometimes I get pretty, I pull on them pretty good. So I find that if you put a zip tie in there, when you put a zip tie in, that zip tie is going to be, right here. And then when we go ahead and tighten the other zip tie down, we always want to make sure that our zip tie is on the inside closest to the center, so that when you go to pull, it's an extra piece of resistance that keeps your ribbon intact. Okay. Do you guys have any questions on that so far? I'm hoping. Okay. So I have all of my pieces cut. So I have our 2.5, I have our 1.5 inches. Here's our 1.5 inches, and then I have the foil right here. And so we're going to go ahead and start to lay them in, and we're going to use the larger wide hole sections for the wider ribbon, and we're going to alternate those. So I'm going to go ahead and place those in first. So you'll see me go ahead and make sure those are nice and tight. So this is where this is going to go, just on the wide sections, alternating the colors and patterns. So as you can see, if I keep my zip tie here, when I go to pull on it, it creates a resistance. Trim that off. And I'm just going to go around and do all the wide ones. So we're going to alternate in just the wide sections. You should go pretty quick now that I figured it all out. And you can do these for every season, for every holiday. Don't worry about the space in between. We will remedy that. Okay, nice and tight. Let's grab a couple more. I know we're going to get, there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we'll grab some of these so they're all here. So I'm just doing the wide holes right now. And then I'll fluff these up once we finish that row, because I have found that I fluff and then I go to put in the next ones and I'm like, oh Lord, we'll just fluff once we finish the entire row. So right in here. And these are just 6-inch zip ties. I buy these in bundles of 1,000. So I generally have quite a bit handy. I just find that sometimes they hold better than the rubber bands. The rubber bands can have a tendency to give way. Plus, like I said, this gives you that extra oomph so that it doesn't slide out on the wider holes. So we're just going to spin this round and round and round, putting them in the wide holes. Couple gold. The longest part of the process is the prep part, just cutting everything, configuring the different types of patterns and what you want your final product to look like. It's nice once you get the larger ones finished, because then it just makes tightening the 1.5 inch pipe cleaners so much easier when you have the shared zip ties out of the way. Okay, up and over. We're going to go right on top of our the cord hanger. Last one going in for our 2.5 inch. Okay, really quick, I just like to give it a little extra. So I am going to, ooh, I did I not plug my glue gun in? Let me look. Yes, I did. Oh, my power bar's off. Okay, we'll come back in and do that once we come in and alternate. Now I have a specific desired look by the time I finish, so the orange are going to be for this plaid and the green is for this. So like, for example, I'm going to come in here with this. And then here's my orange. Sometimes when I clean up, I turn my power bar off. Or sometimes my husband turns it off too. And you'll see the way this looks once I fluff. Yes, I was like, did I do the right one? Yes. Orange. These are a different brand of 6-inch zip ties. These are not my favorite because they're kind of like an off-white color. And so when I go to zip them down, they don't want to slide on their own. You kind of need to give them a little extra help to get them in. I haven't even shown you guys the sign. I will show you the sign as soon as we finish row number 2. And you can use anything for your center. You could use a 6-inch styrofoam fabric center. If you want, you can use a 6 or 8-inch round sign. I'm trying to think. 10-inch kind of feels a little too big for me, so I would stay with 6 or 8-inch for the sign diameter. But because so many of our sign makers have the signs in that size, it is perfect. You could also get a 6-inch ball, styrofoam ball. You can cut it in half, and then you have 2 8-inch centers. Go ahead and put this one in. So no dovetail required, no bow making required, no deco mesh to cut, and it's going to yield a great finished design. So I'm just alternating colors and patterns. You could do this all in the same pattern ribbon, I suppose. You don't have to do it this way. You could use all 2.5 inch. I just like the difference between the skinnier and the wider. 2 more to finish up this row, and then we'll fluff and show you what it looks like. And the nice thing is it stores completely flat, which is always a good thing. Plus, this is also perfect for storm doors because you get to finally put your nice ribbon to good use. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and fluff our big 2.5 inch because that's our primary ribbon. So this is why wired ribbon is, ooh, look, I boofed this one. Okay, how far did I go before I didn't do the right color? All right. Oh, right here is where I went off. Okay, so this is supposed to be green. So I'll make the green over. Did you guys catch that? will just re-thread these ones through right up into our double. And then this one. Okay. We will just reload those. Okay. So super simple. Shared hole. I don't even know why I wasn't following the little letters I had on my board. And this one says orange. So that should have caught me. And then we have our green and our orange. Here's our green. Trying to make sure I pull the shared holes out. The zip ties out of the shared. Orange. The green. And then the orange. Last one. And let's also do this. And our orange. Okay, we have all the right colors now. All right, let me just pull the 1.5 inches up and away, since those are easier to do. Okay, and then we'll do our 2.5 inch. So as you can see, it completely fills that space between them. And that's okay, because we want the 1.5 inch ribbon to actually fall right over the gap that is created between that and the 2.5 inch. So remember that gap that we had in between? That is what we're filling. Okay. Almost all the way through fluffing. Okay. There we go. So now these are laid back just over the tops. But now we went from basically flat to a nice one-dimensional. Let me show you the sign that we're putting on this design. It is right here. So we're doing a nice welcome with the birds, the fall leaves, some berries, and some white pumpkins. So that is going to sit in the center of this wreath once we're all done. So we're going to go ahead now and complete row number, let me find you. It's where your hanger is. We're going to do row 3, which is just using the skinny holes. Right, Amy? Amy says, such a pretty sign. The sign is from PLY Wreath Signs. So she has her own website. She's not on Etsy. So if you just go to PLY Wreath Signs, you can find her sign. Or like I said, you can use any 6 or 8 inch size sign. So now we are just using the 2.5 inch ribbon on row number 3. So we want to make sure there's no way to be exact. We're going to alternate again, but you know, I try to make sure that if we're going to lay our ribbon on it, that, you know, we're alternating the same pattern so that we're not putting same ribbon on top of same ribbon. So there's that. We're going in here with this one. And like I said, you can come in with glue if you feel like, if you're using the rubber bands, I definitely would recommend to come back in with a little bit of glue like this and just kind of touch right over the top of that section so that the ribbon stays put so that the customer can fluff their desired look. Now don't worry about what's going in between. I know that kind of freaked me out at first. I was like, oh, shouldn't we use shared holes? Nah, not needed. We're going to get that taken care of with the next row. And again, you can fluff as you go or wait to the end. It's entirely up to you. When I did this one last time, we did it for Christmas, and it sold that Christmas because it depended upon the cost of your ribbon, because obviously if you're using Ferris silk ribbon at $50 a row, or a roll, which is a really expensive ribbon, but Ferris silk ribbon is like the top of the line. It's like Williams-Sonoma Pottery Barn when it comes to ribbon. So it has like your velvets and rhinestones, and you have to price according to your costs that you put in. You know, it seems like a simple design, but the nice thing is that storm door, perfect, easy to put away, because you would just lay everything flat, like just flatten everything and put it back in the box it came in. And that just makes it so much easier for storage. Because I know sometimes people are like, wow, it's really big to store. This one folds flat. And then you would just simply fluff your ribbons next year. So if you fold them flat, you don't get, you know, the horrible wrinkles that you have to worry about. Folding them flat just makes it easier. Now, if you look in this particular section, in between every single, like if we were to put it in between, we're dealing with the fall plaid, fall plaid, fall plaid, fall plaid, fall plaid, fall plaid. I worked it out that way because I wanted a particular ribbon to be front and center to fill those gaps without feeling like you were putting the same color ribbon like plaid on top of plaid. It just kind of didn't go well. So now when we do this last and final section, we're just doing the same ribbon. So I'm using that sagey green because it pairs really well with the sign. And we are going to let these lay back, and they're going to fill the space in between. So, and then up here, we're doing the same thing. We're alternating that 2.5 inch ribbon, so we have a different pattern on top of a different pattern. And I'm just going around doing the next one. So the 1.5 inch lay back. Okay, green. Then we're doing our gold. There we go. We're in here with our gold. pop your gold up. Then we have our green. So remember, the 1.5 inch ribbon here is the laid back ribbon. It fills the gap between the two. So just make sure that you're fluffing your ribbons though. Ooh, I don't want to cut my other one. And we're back to our green. Put those behind. Fluff. We need our gold. See, and I love using the Unique and the Creek boards because they were created to help us as wreath makers just have a different way of finishing off the backs, because obviously once you finish this design, you have no need to cover the back because the back, in a sense, is covered. Okay. Trying to get my zip tie out. So up, the 2.5 goes on top. What do you guys think of those colors? It looks like, I love the way these wreaths finish. They look absolutely gorgeous. And especially if you have really nice ribbon you want to showcase. And you just want a simple design that just showcases ribbon. And our green. Okay. Gold. Oops. Okay. We have our gold. Elevate. Laid back. Green. Squeezing it in. It gets pretty tight in there at the very, very end. And again, if you had a 6-inch sign, you would probably want to go ahead and maybe tackle that. What is it? 1, 2, 3, we're on row 4, the 5th row, and go ahead and add ribbon in there because we're not, and our sign is 8 inches. We don't need to go that far. And you'll see when we finish what the end result is like. So again, behind. Here's our green. Those shared holes in the center get to be pretty darn tight. Okay. Got our gold. Right in here. And then our last green, which will allow me to demo, you know, what we did as far as creating our little ribbon bundles, is we have our 1.5 and 2.5 inch pieces cut to 12-inch lengths. That's the consistent length all the way through. We're going to gather. You can use a rubber band, or you can use zip tie. It's whatever you have handy, whatever you prefer. There's no right or wrong. I like using the zip ties because it gives it a little bit of an extra security, so that when you go to fluff your ribbons, they're not going to pull out of the ties. Okay, so up, 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 up. Now it's all nice and fluffed and ready for our sign. So sign, super simple. We're going to need a way to secure this to the two holes right here in the center. So what we're going to use is our adhesive cable tie mounts, which you can get at Amazon. You can find them at Home Depot or Lowe's. They're going to be in the electrical section. We are going to place that right in the center. If you want to be overly perfect on your centers, you can go right in the center of your 4, just like that. I'm going to use an orange pipe cleaner, keeping with our fall theme. Make sure it's nice and even, and do a crisscross so that it won't pull out. Then, as an extra measure of security, I like to take and run a bead of super hot glue right along the edge, so that we're reinforcing that bond right there and right there. Okay, so we are simply going to take this, making sure you know where your top hanger is, because you don't want to put your sign in upside down only to find out that you've got to take it out and redo that. So we're just going to take our pipe cleaner, insert it right to those 2 holes. We're going to grab those 2 holes and we're going to put that nice and snug inside, just like this. Give it a couple twists. Again, fluff up your ribbons around the outsides. Just like so. And you have a really super simple but beautiful design. Finished product design on this, from ribbon end to ribbon end, is 20 inches in diameter all the way around. Like I said, you can pick and choose what types of ribbon you would rather have on your design. It's entirely up to you. But that's super simple. And like I said, for storage, you flatten everything out, you put it back in the box, and then that way, the only thing you're worried about fluffing is you just want to get rid of the crease when you pull it out for the season. But you can have these in a ton of different colors, seasons, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to flip you up. I'm going to show you what it looks like when we place it on the door. Hello. Making sure we keep the light down, because I always try to block the overhead lights. So we're going to take our little scarecrow down, and we're going to go ahead and put this up. So from the back, because I usually never show you, you would twist, 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 right, your pipe cleaner all the way through. Cut off the excess. Right there in my trash can. You're going to take that little end, you're going to tuck it back in your center hole, so you have a completely flush and flat back. Okay, and then if you want to cover that, you can put your business card on the back so they know who they ordered it from. But this is what it looks like on your front door. So you can adjust the height depending upon where you have a preference. Like for me, that feels like it sits a little low. So if I wanted it up a little bit higher, I could use any one of the mini holes that are on the back of this and rearrange that. I think I would probably want that maybe right there for me, which would mean utilizing these holes down here, or even these ones here, with a pipe cleaner or another cord, and then we can lift that up. Let's see if we can try to do that one. Let's see, we want here. So let me see. I want to go through row 2. So I'm going to go through my 2 and then back up through my 2. I just had to figure out where did that come through. So I am going to, let me show you. I'm going to pivot you back down for a second so you can see what I'm doing. So all I did is I went back up into the area where I kind of felt like I wanted my hanger to be. So I just went right over the hole where I wanted a hanger, looped my pipe cleaner through. So I'm going to pull this one down so you don't see it anymore. And now let me go and lift it back up again. There we go. It can hang a little higher. So for me, I like things to hang a little bit more centered into the board. And I'm trying to get, like, I have the screw that's in the center, so it's kind of pushing everything forward, but I kind of like that height placement better than adding it a little lower. And so you can kind of play with that. And like I said, customer has unlimited options on numerous ways, different height levels that they can hang that at. If you're hanging it on a wall, obviously you might use the hanger there, and then that would provide appropriate hanger and you don't need to add additional. Or you can throw some pipe cleaners in there and say, hey, if you want to add different, if you want to put that more center on your door, I'm enclosing pipe cleaners, you would just, you know, fish those through and you could use those as hangers for your wreath, whatever you would like to do. So there you go. Another design down and in the books, and I have another one coming for you on Thursday. So I hope you guys will come back and join me on Thursday for a totally new design as well. I've been researching and researching and researching, trying to find some new, simple ways of helping you create beautiful decor that's really super simple. So as long as you have 4 rolls of ribbon, a Unique in the Creek board, I mean, you can get all that stuff at Hobby Lobby and then you're ready to go. So I hope that this has been another creative class for you, and I'll talk to you guys all soon. Thanks for joining me, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.